Tool galleries. So what about tool galleries? Tool galleries is meaning when you start Photoshop, the tools panel appears at the left of the screen, and some tools in the tools panel have options that appear in the context sensitive option bar, and you can expand some tools, by the way, to show hidden tools beneath them, and a small triangle at the lower right of the tool icon signals the presence of hidden tools, and you can view information about any tool by positioning the pointer over it, and the name of the tool appears in a tulip below the pointer. And some workspace shaped with Photoshop CC 2015 customize the toolbar, and when you switch to one of such workspace, some tools, by the way, may seem missing from the toolbar, and you have to see tools missing from the toolbar to learn how to resolve this issue. And do not be careful. In Photoshop CS6, some tools were available as a part of Photoshop Extended, and all features in the erstwhile Photoshop Extended offering are now part of Photoshop, and Photoshop doesn't have a separate extended offering. Like this screenshot now, tools panel preview overview. We have selection tool and crop and slice tools and measuring tools and retouching tools, and we have also painting tools and drawing and type tools and navigation tool. Note again, if you are looking for general information on how to use tools in Photoshop, see use tools. So what about rich tool types? By the way, figuring out what Photoshop tools do is now easier than ever before. And when you hover the pointer over certain tools in the tools panel, Photoshop displays a description and a short video of the tool in action, by the way. And you can choose not to view rich tool types, and to do so, deselect the preferences, then select tools, then select use rich tool type preference, like this screenshot now. Quick selection tool, and makes a selection by finding and following the edges in an image, and rich tool type quick selection tool. And crop tool is trims or expand the edges of an image, rich tool type crop tool. And how to customize the toolbar in Photoshop. How to customize the toolbar? You can customize the Photoshop toolbar to organize tools in a group and do much more. Like do one of the following. Number 1, select edit, then select toolbar, and long press 3 dots located at the bottom of the toolbar, and then select edit toolbar. Like this screenshot now. Customize toolbar. The customize toolbar dialog and in the customize toolbar dialog box, do one or more the following. We have many steps. Step number 1, drag and drop tools and or groups to reorganize the toolbar. And step number 2, move axis unused or low priority tools to extra tools. Step number 3, to access extra tools, long press 3 dots and the bottom of the toolbar. Step number 4, to save the custom toolbar, click Save Preset. Step number 5, to open a previously saved custom toolbar, click Load Preset. Step number 6, to restore the default toolbar, click Restore Defaults. Step number 7, to move all the tools to extra tools, click Clear Tools. Step number 8, select the non-tool widgets to show and hide them at the bottom of the toolbar, like this screenshot. We have show A and P and C and D. A is meaning show and hide extra tools. B is meaning show and hide foreground and background colors, and C is meaning show and hide quick mask and mode, and D is meaning show and hide screen mode. So tool galleries. What about tool galleries? Selection tools gallery, like this screenshot. If you'd like to select any tool gallery, like this screenshot now, you have to select any tool gallery. Yes, and crop also and slice tools gallery. If you'd like to crop and slice any tools from the gallery, and retouching tools gallery. If you'd like to retouching tools gallery, like this screenshot again. If you'd like to retouching any tools from the gallery, and painting tools gallery. If you'd like to paint tools gallery, you have to use brush and pencil tool and color replacement. Yes. And if you'd like to drawing and type tools from the gallery, drawing and type tools gallery, you have to use this to drawing and type tools gallery. You have to use these functions. And the navigation notes and measuring tools gallery, you have to use these functions also. And 3D tools gallery, you have to use this function. 3D tools gallery, you have to use this function to make a 3D tools on the gallery. Yes. And performance preferences, adjust the allocated memory and limit history states. This image is meaning limit history states, and next image manage scratch disks and the efficiency indicator, and adjust cache levels and set GPU setting and recovery and background safe option. And Photoshop, by the way, provides a set of preferences. Then select performance to help you make optimum use of your computer's resources, such as memory and cache and graphics processor and displays, and depending on your primary use case for using Photoshop and the types of documents you gallery work with, different combinations of this setting may suit you. And additional settings such as scratch disks, and available on other tabs of the preferences dialog, and may also directly impact your computer's running speed and stability. Like this screenshot now, preferences. Then you have to choose memory usage and performance. Then if you choose performance, you will appear for you memory usage and graphic processor setting and history and cache. And adjust the memory allocated to Photoshop. How to adjust the memory allocated to Photoshop? You can improve performance by increasing the amount of memory and RAM allocated to Photoshop, and the memory usage area of the performance preferences screen. Preferences then select performance tells you how much RAM is available to Photoshop, and it also shows the ideal Photoshop memory allocation range for your system. By default, Photoshop uses 70% of available RAM. And number 1, increase the RAM allocated to Photoshop by changing the value in the Let Photoshop Use box. Alternatively, adjust the memory usage slider. And restart Photoshop to enable your changes. And to find the ideal RAM allocation for your system, change it in 5% increments. And monitor performance in the efficiency indicator, and keep an eye on the efficiency indicator. And we don't recommend allocating more than 85% of your computer's memory to Photoshop, and doing so may affect performance by leaving no memory for other essential system applications. Note and be careful: if you experience out of RAM or out of memory errors in Photoshop, try increasing the amount of RAM allocated to Photoshop. However, setting the RAM allocation for Photoshop too high, 85%, greater than 85%, and could affect the performance of other running applications, making your system unstable. And in this case, the best solution to this issue is to add more RAM to your computer. You need to add more RAM to your computer in this case. If this case happens, yes. So what about adjust cache? So what about the adjust cache? Adjust cache levels. Cache basics. Photoshop uses image caching to speed up the redrawing of high resolution documents while you are working on them, and you can specify up to 8 levels of cached image data and choose one of the 4 available cache title sizes. And increasing cache levels improves Photoshop responsiveness while you work. Also, images you take longer to load, and to cache title size determines the amount of data on which Photoshop operates at a time, and the bigger tile sizes speed up, and complex operations such as sharpening filters and smaller changes such as brush strokes and are more responsive with smaller title size.